Let me tell you why you suck. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay,
No,
so first, so tell us your name or what you like to be called and a little about yourself to start off, and then you can go into what your thoughts are of social media and shifting and everything.
my name is I inject coronavirus into my brainstem on
So,
Twitch. No, I'm just kidding. It's self. My name is Selfxcuck on Twitch. All
wait,
right,
could you type that in? Because there's no way I'll spell
I'll,
that
I'll
right.
type it in for you. Selfxcuck. There you go.
Okay.
All right, throw me a bone here, bud.
Okay.
Because
Yes. So,
I just
yeah.
I just got done insulting this man, and I want him. No, I'm just kidding. All right, if you're gonna throw this on your YouTube, if you're gonna throw this on your YouTube, I'll be fair here.
Yeah. Well, no. I think I'm interested first in hearing about you, like what got you into Twitch. You said that you were doing pretty
Hmm.
well with Twitch and that you've been living the good life and would like to hear kind of a little bit about your
Slightly.
journey.
All right, I'll give you a slight rundown on my journey. Shit. Growing up, abused childhood, very terrible. Um, I won't go too deep. Basically, 14 to 18, I went to juvenile 5 times before I was 15, and then got on probation for like a year, and then from 18, from like 17 to 20, I went on a spiritual journey. I was doing a lot of mushrooms, taking a shitload of acid. That's probably the reason. I think all of it kind of led up to the reason why I am who I am today. You know, a very open-minded, just I'm a pretty chill dude.
An open-minded comedian.
Basically, yeah, I like to crack jokes. I'm a big fucking memer. I'll just
As you
I'll
can
hit you with
see,
I'm
as
having.
everyone can see from the things, I've never, for the audience that's watching, I've never heard of any of these things. Chad, Pog, people
Yeah,
having, I've never happened. Never heard of any of these.
yeah. I'm really big into that shit. Um, and because I've been watching, I'll just jump right into the content side of this. I've been watching. I don't know if you know who Ice Poseidon is. He was a really old YouTuber who basically started IRL from like 2016 and up. And I mean, I've been watching IRL streamers on Twitch and YouTube for like years, right? So I understand this shit on the deepest level, going into Discord chats and communicating and people throwing memes at me. Like, dog, it is a rabbit hole, right? And I didn't get into it. Well, I've always been into it, but I wasn't able to afford like any of this shit. I have a giant setup here, double
That's
monitor.
insane. It's beautiful. Yeah.
It's a lot of shit. And
Great lighting. Yeah.
yeah, and I was in a lift once, and my driver, I was in the back seat, back left, and it was the last street before I got to my house. And this motherfucker, I knew it was red. I was looking at the light. It was red, and he was going pretty quick. It was raining, and I knew that there's a double bump on this particular road where if you hit it quick, you're gonna go boom, right? It's gonna. And there's two of them. There's one on this side, and then there's one on the other side.
Oh,
And I thought, okay, we're gonna hit the double bump at 50 miles an hour, and we're gonna hit the side of the street. I was like, whatever. I'm such a simp. I just pull out my phone. I didn't say anything. He was gonna hit the red. I just literally pull out my phone. I was like, imagine I'm not looking. I'm not looking. And he hit that bitch. He went right through it. But the funny part is, this was a very dead street, and we ended up getting T-boned at 60 miles an hour. And I got pretty fucked up. I was fucked up. I hopped out. I could barely breathe. Fucking shit was collapsed. Fucking
wait. So
hip
wait,
bone was like out of place.
were you hit like from the driver's side?
Yeah, and I was in the back left, and we just got boom. And red light. Obviously, the first thing I unbuckled, boom, hopped out, and I was like took a deep breath because the wind knocked the fuck out of me, dude. I could not breathe. I was like, oh shit. And I actually bit a big piece of my tongue off too, because I got like, and my foot went under, hit the driver's side passenger or driver's seat. Under there's like a piece of metal under there, and my foot got fucked up. Yeah, so I just hopped out and like I was like spitting out blood and shit, and trying to catch my breath. And then I was like, I'm okay. And that's another meme, by the way. Yeah,
Okay.
it's a big ooh. It's like an anime meme. But yeah, and then
So
I
what
was
about
like,
the driver? Was the driver okay?
he was fucked up too. I think he was more like shook because he was worried about me, which was really nice of him. Like he hopped out and was worried about me because he knows he's a fucking Lyft driver and he just got T-boned because he ran a red light. And so he was like panicking about me, basically wondering if we were dead. And I was like, I'm okay, man. I'm okay. And I was just hugging him just because I felt bad for him because I knew he
course,
just
yeah.
fucked. It was a rental car, and I knew he just like fucked a lot of things up for himself.
And
And I
yeah,
was like,
and you
it's a
guys both went through that insane experience together.
yeah,
Like,
exactly. I was like, it's okay, man. I comforted him, you know. I wasn't even. I wasn't shook. I was like, it's fine, bro. Like I was not shook. I was like, it's okay. Don't worry about it. Everything's fine. I'm still fucking here.
so do yeah, this story is like your story is really fascinating and like and I tell me if you don't want to, but there have been a lot of people on here that I've talked to who have gone through abusive childhoods and have gone in and out of you know psychiatric hospitals and have talked about those experiences. And it seems like you're a very you have a great sense of humor. You're very
Yeah,
charismatic. You have a really nice setup for yourself. Like, could you talk about like kind of the transitions that you've had like out of your childhood and into these into juvie and stuff? Like, what were those experiences like, and how did
sure.
you feel like you grew out of that?
100%. Well, the whole point I even brought that up was because from that I made a shitload of money because that was Lyft that ran a red light with me in it. So I pocketed a fuckload of money from that. That's why I have all of this. That's why I don't work. That's why I'm chilling, right?
Whoa.
That's when I started streaming on Twitch. I bought this nice camera, this nice setup. That's when I was like, well, and then the coronavirus hit, and I was like, well, let's stream on Twitch. So that's literally how I got started into this whole thing. But I was aware of the whole thing before that. Um,
Oh,
as far as the childhood abuse, I mean, it was rough, dude. I mean, I saw my dad punch my mom in the face. I seen her pick her up by the throat, slam her into the fucking the little lamp, break the lamp, shatter right in front of my face. He would come in, ask me if I had a fucking problem with that, slap me in the face.
how old were you
I
when this
mean,
was happening?
all the way from like 7 to, I think it ended around like, well, they actually got divorced from 14 to like 17, which is when that's when I was going to jail and shit because there was nobody watching me. He was just drinking a lot and there was nobody there. He actually he cut his wrist once from his elbow to his wrist. I watched him go in the bedroom with a knife and I was just playing video games trying to imagine like
In
I
another
was going
world.
through too much. Yeah, and then he came out and decided he wanted to live. At first I looked inside the bedroom, I saw a puddle of fucking blood under a bunch of pieces of paper, and then he just went in the bathroom and was looking at his arm in the bathroom. And I went in there and looked at him and he was like, don't look at me like that. And I was like, I didn't say anything. I was just like, and he's like, bring me to my truck. He's like, I got gauze in there. So he went to the truck. I wrapped him up, and he drove himself to the hospital and got stitched up. But I mean, that's just like a basic, boil down. Like that was, I dealt with a lot of the shit like that. He played Russian roulette with my mom when my sister was pregnant. She tells a story like there's a lot of like shit like that I originally went through. It was a very toxic place for me to grow up in. It wasn't It wasn't pleasant, and I rebelled because of it. But you know, I don't
Thank you
know.
for
Because of me
well,
going
first
through
I
that, I
just want
think
to just say like thank you for sharing this. Like like
sure,
yeah,
man.
yeah, dude.
Yeah, I mean, it's a crazy story. That's why I said I had a crazy life. I don't break it down a lot, but yeah, I mean, that's like a slight rundown.
I'm sorry.
There's so much. There's a lot.
I interrupted what you were going to say. I just wanted to thank you
No,
for
you're fine.
for talking about it because
Hmm.
people don't normally talk about it and to be vulnerable and to put yourself out there, especially for a stranger, is just it's very kind, like for you to share that story so that others can hear it and you know,
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe somebody who's going through something similar will take something from it.
you know.
Yeah, I mean, just it's basically. I mean, there I could go in forever. There's so many moments that were very similar, just very like changing moments. I didn't notice. That's the thing, though. You don't notice it at the time, right? Especially when you're young, you don't notice why you're rebelling. You don't notice, being different at school. Not, I got in a lot of fights. I think I couldn't pay attention. I had a lot of built up anger. I remember once just literally crying because I was even related to my father, and I felt like I had his genes inside of me, and it made me so mad. Like being a child, like I was so fucking mad, dude, all the time, and I would just rage. Like if you said one thing, I'd fucking literally, I'd punch you in the mouth. I did not care. I was a ruthless kid. I got suspended all the time. I ended up joining the gang actually when I was 15, called TRG, and it was like a hood rat gang, but it was also a real gang. A lot of dudes with like face tats. I got jumped in by like four bigger dudes, and this is going real deep. This is the darker side of this whole story because my family knows all about this. This is when it got really dark. After they jumped me in, and I mean, I got beat up, dude, because you had to do it for a minute and 62 seconds, because that's 162 was the gang street, and I was drunk when I joined it. I was a good kid, man. The cops who used to arrest me, they knew I'm a quirky dude, man. I'm a funny little
Yeah,
kid. They
yeah.
were like, "What the fuck you doing, man?" And I was just, it was just, I would drink, and I would get angry, and I would do dumb shit like join a gang.
And like in that situation, like that is a logical outlet for you to go to
It was family.
if you know that those people can kind of take the violence and that's
Yeah,
what you feel you want to do. It's
was
like
fighting.
in school, it's not an appropriate outlet to let your anger out. But like when you're younger and you're thinking, oh my gosh, like let me try to get this out. Let me get with guys who understand what I'm going through. That's a logical place where you feel at home and you can also be angry, let your anger out, right?
It was a little bit of both, because it was heavily influenced by drinking. Because I was doing a lot of drinking at my younger ages, and a lot of smoking weed. Um, and it was fueled by anger. Also, not by anger, but by not giving a fuck. You know, the alcohol and me not caring if I went home. That's where the energy came from. Because there would be times where I just didn't go home for 4 days, and when I did go home, there would be a cop there, and I'd get hit with a runaway charge. I had four runaway charges, and because my parents were worried about me, even though it was toxic, they knew when I did come home from getting jumped in to the gang, there was a cop waiting for me, and I had lumps everywhere, man. I was beaten up, right? And I went to school the next day, and there was videos, and pretty much everyone knew it circulated. Like I was affiliated at that point, and that's when it took a turn for the worst, because they were taking advantage of me, kinda. And if I didn't do something right, like I remember he asked me where I was from, and I didn't say like the gang street. I was like, I'm from Iowa. That's where I was born, but I didn't say where the gang was from. And he was like, when do you want to catch a DP? Which is like two people, they're gonna jump me basically. And that's when I realized this is like a 27-year-old dude with face tats and shit. I'm like 14. I was like, I was just scared. And then eventually they tried to kill me basically. And my parents wouldn't let me leave because they knew I was in trouble. And every time I would go outside, they would literally sit outside my house and wait for me. And like it got really bad. And basically I stayed inside for like 2 years in my house. And that was probably the best thing in my life because when I stayed inside for literally 2 years hiding from society, because I lost all my friends because I quit my school because of the gang was all over my school. If I would have went back, they would have beat the shit out of me, probably killed me. They all had guns. Dude, this is a real gang, and I wasn't meant to be in it, but I was in it, and they take that seriously. I had to delete all my social media. They flooded my social media with death threats, and all of my family and friends were like, "What the fuck is this?" Like my grandma and shit. And I'm like, I gotta get
Oh
rid of it.
God, yeah.
Yeah, I had to get rid of it. And yeah, that's but when I took that 2 years to myself because I was afraid, uh, like I say, the lonely prospect gave me this progress. Right? If you think about that, being that lonely made me kind of think on a different level that there was a zero society. No, I had nothing,
Yeah, no expectations of you.
nothing, and I played video games and I thought and I searched on YouTube, and this is when I really started to gain like a hardcore like mentality towards space and spirituality. And I literally sat in my room and took notes on space, like gravitational lensing. How does the universe work? How, you
Wow.
know, how far away is the moon? I literally had an entire notebook full of notes. I took all of that shit and I put it towards space for like 3 years. That space was my thing. And then from there, it transitioned into like content, YouTube, Twitch, and that's basically my whole life. This is how I transitioned from being a little shithead,
Oh,
and I would have been the same shithead if it wasn't for them basically wanting to fucking beat my ass. I was like, well, fuck it, I'm staying inside.
oh my God.
I was like, I'm not gonna fight. So
Wow.
yeah, that's
So
that's how it all boiled down, man. That's what
as
brought me here.
as your time went on with your parents, like when you were in at home for 2, 3 years, like how did your relationship develop with your parents?
At points, it was really it was kind of dull. Um, I was still doing like I had a girlfriend at the time. I would only hang out around my apartments. At the time, I was working out a lot. That helped me. I had one friend. His name was Josh. He got arrested by the FBI. Um, it's a whole nother loop. We were
Wow.
stealing iMacs and iPhones off the internet. He was a hardcore hacker, and he was giving me half the money because I'd make the phone calls, and he would pull up the dark web accounts, and he'd show me how to do it. But he always sent everything to his house, but he'd split the money because I'd make the phone calls because I'm really smart with communication. Um, doesn't matter. I can say that now. That's almost a 10-year-old case. I'm not worried about it. But yeah, I mean, we made like a couple $1,000 doing that. We both had like 4 grand at one point, and my buddies were. I had one other friend. He's starting to take notice. I had a shitload of money. I was still living pretty good. Like we were making it. But yeah, we were still. I would just hang around the apartments. My parents wouldn't really. Fuck, man. I don't even know. We were making so much money, dude. I was smoking like an ounce of weed a day almost. Like I remember my dealers would come over once with a half. I'd call them up again that night, partying, bring me another half, and it was like that for like almost like 17 to like 19. We were doing that. So it's a
Wow.
slight bit furry, but
Wow.
yeah, we were living pretty good for little teenagers. I had a nice watch. I mean, good clothes. I was living pretty good, but that I was also in a little bit of a materialistic phase. That was a little bit before I got into the hardcore space shit, and that was when I moved. When I moved out of that apartment complex, and my buddy got arrested by the FBI, it was just me. That's when I focused my attention on space. But my relationship with my parents remained pretty just stale. Yeah, it wasn't. It was nothing. It was just it wasn't. There wasn't much to it.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
just like, good morning. Where are you going? Outside. Shit like that.
Yeah.
Pretty
Did
stale.
so now, so where you are in your life right now, like what are the things that you really like doing, and what are you excited for next?
Well, I love my computer. That's my main fucking thing. I love this fucking computer
Dude,
to
that thing
death.
is a beautiful machine, man. You created a beautiful thing there.
It is. Yeah. And I always wanted one, and I was able to get one. And yeah, I love it. Uh, I'll probably get a job working from my computer. That's what I'm looking to do now.
Hmm.
And yeah, that's pretty much my main goal.
Well, so I have what I did is I wrote up like a bunch of kind of like pre-written questions. There are a lot of them, but I only ask people to answer three of them, and we choose them by random
Okay.
between the numbers of 1 and 45. So if you could choose three numbers between 1 and 45, that would be awesome.
33.
33,
Yeah.
and then two more numbers.
33, 3, and 23.
Wow. So why three?
I don't know. I just like that number. It's
Yeah,
my favorite
it's
number.
calling to you. Cool. All right, so let's do 33. Okay, what is one strange fact about you? After that whole story,
Strange fact?
what is
Yeah,
one
fuck.
strange fact? You have to come up with one more.
Shit. Strange fact. Man, I'm thinking.
And no rush.
I was gonna say I made beats almost for a living at one point. Back when I worked at Apple, I would make beats for like everyone there, and the buddy who got arrested by the FBI actually made me pirate Fruity Loops. And I'm a heavy metal head, to be honest, but I like everything. I think that's kind of a fun fact. I was really into it, man.
Wow.
I had some pretty serious beats. I used to make decent money off of it.
That's like, and you were
And
saying like metal kind of.
originally, but I knew that the rap industry was where it was.
Hmm.
So when I was 15, I knew how to do more than the average guy.
Do you ever
So
miss doing that stuff? Do you ever miss it?
fuck yeah, fuck yeah.
Dude, well, dude, you have such an awesome setup there, man, and
I know.
you're a smart
I
guy. You
trust
got to
me. I've
get
been
back to
thinking
it.
about it.
Yeah, man.
Trust
Cool.
me, I've been thinking about it.
Yeah, don't
I,
hold
I,
yourself
I
back.
really, I really might, for
Yeah,
sure.
awesome, man.
Yeah.
All right, number three. All right, what is your biggest regret?
My biggest regret, I can tell you that right off rips. I had 3 girlfriends that I absolutely loved to fucking death. Um, and I fucked up all 3 of them. And I've had way more than 3 girlfriends. Obviously, I'm not fucking ugly. I had plenty of girlfriends growing up, but 3 of them really fucked me up for like years. Those are easily, without a doubt, my biggest regrets. Even past the gang was letting them go.
So was it the way that you acted with them, or was it a specific thing you did?
I was just not ready. I was insecure because of my life. I didn't know that I was like decent looking, and I felt like I wasn't good enough, and so I would act stupid or do something.
Mm.
I wouldn't be there for him. Uh, Things like that. My last girlfriend, though, who I really regretted, It was Savannah, Emily, and Jenna. And Jenna, actually, I broke up with her because she was 16 and I was 18. And I was like, on my 18th birthday, I was like, I'm sorry, I can't be with you anymore. Because her parents fucking hated me, and I wasn't about to catch a case, you know. But it turns out, I texted her because she worked at Chick-fil-A. I was like, I used to always go to Chick-fil-A, and I always see her, and I was like, I texted her on Snapchat. I was like, hopefully you don't think it's weird that I'm always like coming in. Like
Yeah.
I told her, I was like, don't think I'm stalking you. I've been going to Chick-fil-A for years, champ.
It's not because of you. Wink,
Yeah,
wink.
I'm like, listen, champ, relax. I love the fucking sandwich.
Yeah, that
I was
crispy
like, I get
chicken,
it.
dude.
You don't want to be with
Yeah,
me.
exactly.
Fine. Yeah, it's over. Whatever. And obviously, I felt terrible about that. But she blocked me, crushed my fucking heart. Um, Turns out, a year later, she dates some piece of shit guy. By the way, I never even had sex with her because I only kissed her like a week later when I asked the original time. Never fucked her. She was really shy. Turns out a month late or a couple months later, she's pregnant. I didn't even know.
Oh,
I didn't even know. You want to know how I found out? This is gonna fuck you up. She killed her 4 week old baby. She drowned it in the bathtub. Uh, Put it in a duffel bag. Took it to the park. Called the police and said she got kidnapped. Literally, I'd give you the name, but if
no,
I don't
no,
want
no,
to,
no,
yeah,
no,
I don't
no,
want
no,
to, I
no,
don't want to fuck it up on YouTube.
no, no.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
There's no
yeah,
need.
this was
Yeah.
all over the fucking news. And the crazy thing was she had gotten so big from being pregnant, I didn't even realize it was. I remember my mom telling me because I came home that day, and there was literally helicopters. There was like 30 police cars outside my house. I came home, I was like, "What the fuck is going on, dude?" And she was like, some teenage girl killed her baby, and she showed me the picture. I didn't even recognize her. And then almost 2 years later, I went out and I told my mom, I was like, "You remember that girl who killed her baby?" Because she didn't forget. She cried just fucking hearing about it. She's very sensitive to that. She loves her kids. And I was like, "That was my ex girlfriend," and she was just like, "No fucking way." And I was mind blown. I just couldn't believe it, dude. Such a crazy story. I know there's like postpartum. It's a real big thing, and I think she didn't get support from the people around her. Um, and it just made me feel like if it weren't for the law, and I would have stuck to her, I don't blame myself for shit. She made that own fucking decision, not my fault. But if it weren't for the law sometimes, and I would have stuck with her, I think I would have been a way better option for who she ended up being with. So, you know. But yeah, I mean that's just one of them. The other ones
Yeah.
are the other
That, I
ones.
mean, that's also not, like that. Those. I mean, it's understandable why you feel that way, but it's also like she has control of her life, and that those two.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like,
She could have put it up for adoption. She had a
yeah, that's not
million
has
other
nothing to
options.
do with you. That's
Oh, of course not.
yeah, yeah,
A million other options. I just feel like I may have been able to help more than he or
yeah,
she.
absolutely. Yeah. Okay. Well, man, dude. Thank you for.
It just
I mean,
gets worse.
I just, I
The next
just
clip,
like all I
I'm gonna
can
tell
do
you
is
how I shot myself. No, I'm just kidding. I never did that, but yeah, just everything. It just keeps getting worse, bud.
well,
I have
it's
a million stories.
yeah. I have a cousin who has been through some stuff, and yeah, we can talk another time about that. Yeah. Um, okay, 23. The last question.
Okay.
Actually, that's so funny. It's the question, what are you looking forward to next, which I asked you earlier on. So you got to choose another. You have to choose another question. Choose
What
another
am I
number.
looking forward to next? More just in, maybe the next few years. Um, Man, What am I looking more for? Honestly, maybe I think you know what? I'm gonna give you a little bit of a generic answer here, but it probably holds more weight than most people would ever give this answer. And that's for me, within just the last few months, it's just being at peace. Uh, that holds a shitload of weight to me because for not only the last few years, it's been a constant paranoid, um, struggling with the people I lost, uh, struggling with friends, family. It's a constant mental fucking battle. And I feel like I'm finally at the point, and I say that with fucking like crunched teeth. Yeah, crunched teeth. Like I feel like I'm finally at the point where I can take a deep fucking breath and just like relax, you know. And it's been a long time since I could say that, and that holds a lot of weight for me. That's the main thing I'm looking forward to is just seeing what I can do, just being relaxed finally, you know.
What a great answer. What a great fucking answer.
Yeah, and it's
Dude,
the truth, one
you're
hundred
such a
percent.
you're such a cool dude, man. You really are. Like all
Yeah,
the shit, and you're such a good storyteller, and um, like being able to talk about it, and yeah, yeah. You talk about it. I'm trying to put my finger on it. Like the way that you talk about it is, it's a way that a person looks back on something that they've processed. And it sounds like
yeah,
you are
hundred
right
percent.
on the precipice of finding peace with all of the things that you're either at that precipice or you have done it. It, it's
I recently, I think I've hit it recently.
Well, it's interesting, like because like when you lose someone, if you lose a relationship or someone dies, right? Like the grieving process never ends; it just changes. And so it sounds like
Exactly, exactly.
you're in a mature stage of the processing of all these things, and at
Yep,
such a young age too. Like what that does is it brings a lot of wisdom, and totally sense that with you. It's really, really, really cool. And you have a good book in you too if you'd ever want to write that.
probably.
I want to recommend two books to you about finding
I'll
peace.
put them in my notepad
Yeah.
because I do like reading.
Both of those guys, you can find a bunch of their stuff on YouTube too.
I'll put them in my notepad right now.
Yeah, and I think that that stuff may be really helpful in this moment for you. And before we go, do you have any kind of like last pieces of advice that you would want to give the audience, or just a last thought that you'd want to share?
Um, a last thought or a piece of advice. In total, I think throughout living through this kind of lifestyle that I've lived, um, there's been two main things I think that have kept me going. One was my understanding of my reality, knowing that I'm floating on a planet that I don't know exactly what's going to happen after I die, um, and knowing that the real size of the universe, and knowing it not on a scale of oh I get that, but knowing it on a sense of feeling the fact that I'm here, feeling the fact that I'm on this planet, we're rotating, we are literally in space in a vast, empty nothingness. And knowing that if you look at science, the majority of this entire universe is going to be spent in darkness, black holes, white dwarfs, and literal nothingness. And so, this brief moment in time where we're able to live out this amazing journey is truly an incredible thing. And I don't take it for granted. Number two, if you're not able to understand that, if you don't care about that, um, not only family, but even the girlfriends that I lost kind of carried me. You know, even though I lost some of these girlfriends, I took the anger and the sadness from losing them and I turned it into motivation, right? I took that energy because that's a powerful fucking energy. when you lose someone that you really love. It's very powerful. And if you can turn it into something, anything else, it's transformation of energy. Anything in your life, you take it, you harvest it, you transfer it. Um, and that can goddamn near fucking carry you through anything. It really can. So those would be my two biggest things. Transfer whatever emotions you don't like into something you have to do or you want to do. And always remember, you live in space, bud. We're all going to die someday.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful thing that we're living here. So don't take it for fucking granted.
Yeah, man. You got me tearing up, man.
I tear it myself.
Yeah.
I really do. You can't see it. I'm fucking cold blood. But I'm tearing up inside. I'm not even kidding. My eyes are watering, but I'm holding it back. I can sense you're an empath. I sense that you understand me. You're an empath, man. You listen to my story and you don't take it as some fucking story. You really hear me, and I thank you so much for listening to my story. I fucking love you just for sitting here and actually caring enough about me to listen to my story. It makes me want to fucking cry. The fact that you actually care about me, because nobody gives a shit about my story, man. You know, but god damn it, you son of a bitch. But you know, I'm glad that at least somebody cares.
Yeah, man.
Cheers, man.
Cheers. I wish I had a beer. I have tons in the fridge. Should have had it. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna post this. I'm gonna. Dude, I wish. Dude, so are you?
Come back.
So Did you say that you're in Iowa? Is that the state that you said you're in?
That's where I was born. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I live in Arizona though now.
Arizona. Okay. I'm gonna put you as Iowa just because I don't have anyone from Iowa yet. So I'm gonna cheat.
Fair enough.
Iowa and Arizona. Cool. And yeah, man, I'm gonna post this right now. And
cool. Fuck yeah.
And yeah, make sure to subscribe. So that you can see it pop
building
up.
bridges.
Yeah, building_bridges. Yeah. And
I'll subscribe to you right now, man.
Yeah, dude. Well, thanks again. And
you're the one that's doing a real justice here, man. Thanks for asking for the story. Well, that's cool of you. Especially somebody like me. I mean, that's a golden story. So that's there's gonna be a few rare people you meet on here that actually have something to tell. But there is people out there like me that are on here. So
I think everyone has different trauma, and everyone's trauma can help. Can help in different ways, different people in different ways, and that's what I'm banking on. That's true diversity, and
actually,
people, the whole.
Oh, I see you. Wow. Yeah, you got videos up.
The whole talk of diversity these days, this is getting to it, so
100%. Yeah, it's like counseling, man. Almost damn near, even if it's just a fun story. Really cool, man. I like what you're doing.
Thanks, dude. All right, well, I'll talk to you soon. I got my email all over the place. If you ever want to talk, just let me know, man. I would love to just talk to you, even if it's not recorded. Just hang out,
Sure, man. All show you the memes. I'll give you the Discord life.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, email some of them
I'll
over to me.
I'll give you the fucking meme life.
All right, man. You take care. All right.
Have a good night, man. I really appreciated it.
All right, man. Bye.
Salute.
Hope that was